Investors, welcome back to Green Money Momentum, where we talk about market movements, making money, and money momentum. I'm your host, Trevor, and we are here for the Big Bear AI live stream for Q3. So today, Big Bear is currently having a bit of a flat day when we just look at the technical analysis. We were up in the pre-market, did fall into the red twice today, and now we are sitting right about break even. But I see we got a lot of comments in here already. So wow, we got 19 viewers. Wow, everybody who is here, thank you so much for the support. It's been a while since we went live on this channel. The last time was in January. So it's awesome to see so many investors here. We're going to get the results with Big Bear's earnings here in about 15 minutes. And then they have their earnings call shortly after that. So they have their earnings call at 2:30. We'll get the results at 2:15. That is in my time out here, Mountain Standard Time. But let's take a look at the comments. Let's see everybody who is in the live stream today. So our first comment that we got before the stream even started today was from Idris. He says, I think we saw the worst scenario with Q2 earnings. So how bad could be this one? Waiting with only 250 shares. That is enough. Hey, that is a good position. That is good that you are involved in the game. When it does come to the earnings, I agree. Both since Q4, Q1 and Q2 were pretty disappointing. So we saw some deceleration when it comes to revenue, but with that, Wall Street's expectations are lowered. So the bar is set pretty low for Big Bear. So I definitely think if Big Bear comes out today with an earnings report that does beat expectations, we could see a nice pop within the stock. Again, we are right at a flat point today. So pretty flat with the price in Big Bear today, just waiting for that earnings to either have the big jump up or the big drop down. And when we do look at technical analysis over the last year with Big Bear, oh my gosh, my chart is going crazy here. Oh man. Hold up. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to have to refresh the page here. Things you get when you get it live, right? Those little mishaps and errors, the things I cut out when I do the video. So anyway, when we do look at technical analysis, we recently just popped again off of that 200-day moving average. And I did add to my Big Bear position here. So I did add some options contracts today when we did see the red. So we popped off this 200-day moving average, and we are right at this level of support in this trend of consolidation, which has been happening since this gap up since June. So we are right in this level of consolidation. On the relative strength index, we are low, and we have been moving down on the MACD. So if Big Bear does come out with positive earnings today, we could see a nice pop back up. And what I am expecting for is for Big Bear to continue somewhere within this consolidation trend. Earnings is always unpredictable. Again, Big Bear could come out with amazing earnings, or they could be like the last two earnings and be a bit disappointing. If they are disappointing, we may see a little bit of a drop, but I have faith in the Big Bear. That's why he sits in my background back there. So I do believe that Big Bear will have a nice pop up today. This is a very volatile stock, and I believe that we will be somewhere in this consolidation trend. And if the earnings are positive enough, we could definitely see some fear of missing out start to present itself in this stock, and we could eventually break through this consolidation zone. But we first need to see Big Bear prove themselves today. We also have here David Parsons. Brother, thank you so much for being here in the stream. I see your comments all the time. You have been a very loyal subscriber. I thank you for being here. David says, hi, Trevor. Think they will come in on expectations, but think price will drop slightly. You know, earnings are always unpredictable. So that is another scenario that can happen. I do expect for Big Bear to beat earnings today, especially because when we do look at the last two quarters of revenue, they have been low. And at this last earnings, Big Bear did talk about how all the money hasn't actually hit their bank account yet from some of the contracts that they have gotten earlier this year. So there is the chance that they will beat expectations just because they do have some back-end revenue that may finally come in on this earnings report. But thinking the price may drop is understandable because, again, earnings are always just so crazy. You could have a very positive earnings report. A company could show a lot of growth, and you could still see a drop. What I will say, I do expect for the price to go up today if earnings are good, but again, never financial advice, just my opinion. But that is because the macros are looking pretty positive right now. So when we do look at the heat map today, the overall stock market was pretty green. We could see a lot of green here on the heat map. That's for the S&P. My gosh, I'm being hit by so many ads here. Okay, but yeah, we could see that the heat map very, very green today. We had 62% in the gaining category. So macros are looking pretty positive today. Last week, we did have a pretty big week when it comes to earnings. We did have some of our favorite players report earnings, such as Robinhood and AMD, but they still had a drop. And that was a lot because of the macros. When the markets fall, everything does tend to fall together. Now, that is just a thought. Again, earnings are always unpredictable. Wow, guys, we got 67 here in the live stream. Let's go. That makes me so happy. Thank you to everybody who's here. We got 67 people. Let me check in on the YouTube page. How many likes do we got here? Let's see. Let's go to my own stream here. We got the legend Tom Lee right there. Wow, 77 watching, 19 likes. All right, guys, let's push that up to 25 likes here. Then we got, oh man, we got a legend here in the chat, Mr. Martin David. Thank you so much for being here. This is one of my best friends, and I met him over the internet. He has been a long-term subscriber. He has been with me for a long, long time, and he emailed me a long time ago. I talk to Martin all the time. Guys, this guy is a true legend, a self-made millionaire. Martin, thank you for being here. He says, I am very positive. Third time lucky. I agree. Third time is a charm. The last two quarterly earnings have been a bit disappointing for Wall Street, and we did see drops in the Big Bear going back to February's earnings, and then when we had the earnings a bit earlier this summer. So I do believe that the third time is the charm. I will agree with you. We're still having some pretty flat sideways movements within the Big Bear right now. Then we have Mr. Eric Poley. Oh, also, I want to say, Martin, yes, you will be in Vegas this August. So, brother, I look forward to meeting you and your spouse. I can't wait for that. That is going to be so exciting. Vegas, I love Vegas. You know, we got the cards here, so got to support Vegas. So I'll see you out there in Vegas in August, and I still have to come out to the UK at some point, see Big Bear at that Heathrow airport. We got Eric Poley here. He says, I hate knowing that the share price will pull back, but being too chicken to take advantage of it. That is funny. I thank you so much for being here, Eric. I gotta say, man, you are one of my favorite commenters. You always make me laugh in the comment sections. You always have such funny things to say. Then, oh, we got a bear in here. We got a bear on the Big Bear. I've been seeing this fella in my comment section for a while, but thank you for being here. You know, I don't mind a bearish opinion because I like both opinions. You know, when it comes to assets, some investors will get very offended when someone is bearish on their asset. But myself, I never get bearish. I always like to have multiple takes. So Bo Perkins, not a fan of the Big Bear. He got burnt earlier this year. And let's see. Oh, and well, he's talking about it right here. He says, it was this stock that I was down 2,000 on at one point. I only follow now to see the demise of all of you in this scam bear AI. All right. Well, let me know in the comment section below, guys, or I guess on the side because it's a live stream. Let me know if you think it is scam bear. Do you think Big Bear is a scam? We got Eric Poley. You know what? Okay, I'll let that one go. Anyone optimistic? Yes. Is anyone optimistic today? Let me know. Drop a comment. Let me know if you were bullish or bearish on the Big Bear. George Hatfield. Hey, brother, it is great to see you here. You know, whoa, look at that. Woo! Big Bear, let's go. Oh, my God. We got the green. Whoa, look at that. We are pumping on the Big Bear right now, popping back up, getting to that level of support on that consolidation trend. So it looks like Big Bear is flying right now. Again, earnings are fast. So just because it is popping right now doesn't mean that earnings could still come out bad and we see a little bit of a drop. I am bullish, though, So let's see, has Big Bear actually released their earnings yet? It's 2:10 right now. Has anything changed here? But George, anyway, thank you so much for reaching out earlier this year. You know, you emailed me with some very kind words. So I thank you so much for saying that, for letting me know of your investing story. It makes me so happy to see other investors succeed. And that is really all I am trying to do on this channel, is just be able to spread great information, give my opinion, and help other investors in this crazy market. Eric says he is also optimistic. Awesome, brother. I am optimistic. Big Bear, he is optimistic. He has given a thumbs up back here. You see that? Big Bear is giving a thumbs up. So the Big Bear is optimistic. I mean, we are seeing this nice green candlestick. All right, followed by a red. Anyway, getting back to it. Oh, we got another great investor here. Another day, another trade. That is what we are having right now. Another day, another trade. I know you are a big bull on the Big Bear because I am always watching tons of different YouTube videos. So just because I make my videos doesn't mean I don't watch a bunch of other YouTubers. So I watch a bunch of other YouTubers, see what others' opinions are, and I always see you in a ton of different comment sections. So great to see you here. Bear needs some packet snow, huh? Don't forget, Hi Nugent is the acting director of TSA. And that is the other thing. We do have the bullish catalyst that we should be coming out of this government shutdown here fairly soon. They have been talking about that up at DC. Close. Okay, Thomas Otto, thank you for being here. Oh, we got Beeline. This is another great investor. I've seen you in my comment section for quite a while. So thank you so much for being here, Beeline. You know, on this channel, we are still a growing channel. So currently we are at 2,400 subscribers, which is small to many channels, but we are a growing channel. And what I love about my audience here is you guys are a very loyal audience. So typically I'll receive like 100 to 500 views per video. But I feel though, even though we have a low amount of people seeing it, hasn't reached the most investors yet, we do have a quality fan base here. So I always appreciate everything that all of you have to say. I get a lot of good opinions from you guys. And you know, the comment sections that you guys leave, it helps lead me also in this market. So we are always working together. Eric says, the acting director of TSA, any predictions? I am expecting to see a positive earnings report from Big Bear, but only time will tell. We could see that the price action is going crazy right now. Eugene says, any guesses on what we will see? Well, I don't have a crystal ball. I have a ball full of gumballs, but not a crystal ball. Nobody has a crystal ball. So when it comes to guesses, I could only guesstimate, but I do expect for us to get back to this level of consolidation as long as Big Bear does report a positive earnings today. So right between this level that sits right between 650 and about $9. Guys, prepare for a washout liquidity grab first. You know, that is very common when it comes to earnings. There is always these choppy, volatile movements. That's like I'm saying, we're very excited about this green candlestick here, but the earnings report actually hasn't came out yet. It's expected to come out in 2 minutes. And we also do have the live earnings call about 15 minutes after that. Let's see. Eric Poley once again says, anyone who is not holding BigBearAI when they announce the TSA screening partnership program contract will rue the day. I love the positivity, brother. I love that. Ricky G, what is up, Ricky? Great to see you here. I've seen your comments also. You're a very positive gentleman. I appreciate you so much for your support. We have Whitney Patterson. Hello, great to see you covering this live. Hello, Whitney. So great to see you here. Again, another very loyal fan of this channel. Whitney has been one of my earliest subscribers. So Whitney has been with me since 2024. So Whitney, thank you so much for being here. I always appreciate all the support, and it is great to see that you caught us here in this live today. Ricky says, I am break even with the bear. Hey, it's better to be break even than down, right? Beeline says, let's go BBAI. I'd like to see a flush because I'd be buying the dip. I like that mentality, and that is exactly how I have personally played the Big Bear. So I've been in the Big Bear since 2024. So I got into the Big Bear early. Let's say, I think it was around November when I originally got into the Big Bear. So I was picking up some shares pretty cheap, right under that $3 mark. I was picking up just shares. Then I added some options contracts around this point. I added some options here, and then I recently added options here, one up here a little bit high, and then I just added a few more today. So I am very bullish on the Big Bear, and when Big Bear does drop, that is when I personally like to add to the Big Bear also. You know, when we just talk about buying opportunities, I always do like to buy in the red rather than the green because the recovery is always that much greater. So let's see, it is 2:15. Let's see if we got a update from Earnings Hub here. Do we got anything? Let's refresh the page. Let's see, have they announced the earnings yet? Doesn't look like yet. Okay, we should be seeing something soon, but price is moving down currently. Eric has some laughing emojis. Great to see you having fun, brother. I hope they share some good guidance. I agree. You know, with each earnings report, there are two sides of it. You first have the revenue, the earnings per share, you know, what they did with this last quarter. You have that, and then you have the earnings call with guidance. Oh boy, we are seeing the big bear bleed right now. Some more earnings volatility. Has the earnings report came out? Let's see if there's an update. Okay, it does look like we got the update. Officially, they did beat Wall Street's expectations. So the revenue expectations were at 31. They came in at 33. They also beat on earnings per share expectations. So the expectations was -7 cents per share. They came in at -3 cents. So at least in that sense, things do look positive in terms of beating Wall Street's expectations, but still a pretty low quarter. So as we could see, the last 3 quarters, all of 2025 has been pretty low for the big bear, still not being where they were at 2024. So earnings did come in better than expected from Wall Street, but not really amazing by any means. Just another average earnings for the big bear. That is completely okay with me. Again, I am a long-term investor on this, and I am picking up a lot of options contracts and a lot of leaps for the future with the big bear because I truly believe in the intrinsic value of this company and everything that they are doing. They are showing up at so many different airports. They've had big government contracts, and it is just an overall growing company. So earnings today, pretty flat still. Let me look at the candlestick chart on my phone. I like to look at this one on my phone too. So Big Bear right now still having a pretty flat day, still on an uptick, but coming down a little bit at 584. Thomas, WTF. I wonder when this came out. This was still before 215, so it wasn't a reaction to that. Money bear, money bear, money bear. I reckon we see a drop to 4. Yeesh, that would be scary. Right now, it doesn't look like it. We're seeing another push here, another green candlestick. Right now, it looks like we may be seeing a bullish hammer. That would be very positive. Again, we do have the results which just came out, and right now the reaction isn't too bad. We're just seeing some volatile movements, kind of choppy. We are pushing right now, so we're getting closer to 6 than 4, Ollie. So unless we see some type of really bad guidance from Big Bear, I do expect that we are going to push further away from that 4. Let's go, investors. Let's go. Woo! Look at that green candlestick. We are up by 8%. Let's go, everybody. Yeah, this is what we want to see in this earnings report, right? Hell yeah, let's go. Oh my, we are back in that level of consolidation. Wow, Big Bear is pushing. We are at 624. We are up almost 10% in the after hours. Investors, woo, let's go. We are seeing the push in the Big Bear. We've got to give this guy a hug. Thank you, Big Bear. Thank you. We are bullish. As I always say, we are bullish on the Big Bear. I love to see it. Look at that push there. Again, we are very far from 4 currently. Beeline, they always flush the leverage shorts and the longs before they move the price, in my opinion. You know, me and my friend Martin, we are always talking about that, about the little bit of a rig in the market. And I do agree with you. The same is to be said with a lot of options contracts chains. Often, a lot of the times when you do have a big expiration date coming up, where a lot of investors have gotten leveraged, that is where we see a bit of a washout before the next push. But hey guys, this earnings report so far is going positive. We are up big here in the after hours. My favorite stocks, I agree. That is why we have Mr. Big Bear in the background there, and we are bullish on the Big Bear. One of my favorite stocks also. I've been covering this play since 2024. We are seeing a lot of movements right now in the Big Bear, currently sitting at $6.13. Eugene, do you think the shutdown will have a negative impact on BBAI? Well, the government shutdown has already been around for a month, and Big Bear is still pushing up. Currently, I think actually the opposite. I think when we come out of this government shutdown, which we are very close to, I believe that this will be a very positive catalyst for the Big Bear. And there should be a lot of defense spending coming here very soon. And Big Bear could see a lot of that. 34150 Big Bear. Is that the zip code that you're in? Yes, sir. Share price rises so far. Happy face. I am also happy with these big green candlesticks that we are currently seeing $6.17. Very exciting. Whitney, thank you again for being here. Again, you are a long-term subscriber with this channel. I appreciate your support so much. You were actually here at the last live stream all the way back in January. So again, great to see you here. Already 2% after market. Yep, a lot higher now. I'm at $842 cost average. I hope there is some good news. Well, right now we are seeing a positive reaction from Wall Street, and this is before they have their earnings call. So before we get any guidance. So at least right now, the reaction is positive to what we saw in the actual earnings report. Kurt, you're welcome. I think it's heading back to 450 range short term. Again, we are pushing farther from that right now, but again, anything is possible, and earnings are super volatile. You know, last time we did have an earnings report with Big Bear, their Q2 earnings. A lot of investors were very unhappy with what they heard in this earnings report. But one thing that I thought was very positive. Oh man, I wish this would load right now. It's not loading. It should show on this big gray screen here, but they did come out with their largest cash position ever. So this company has been riddled with debt, but this last earnings report, they did show that they did pay down a lot of that debt and they had their strongest cash position ever. So I'm very interested to see what they are going to say in this earnings call. We are still having a push, having a bit of a fight from the bears on the Big Bear. We got some eyes here. Yup. Record cash. Okay. Was that just reported, the record cash? I believe so, because their last quarter was at, I think, like 300 million cash. So that's a positive. 456.6. I don't know. Money. Yes, sir. Let's play a little bit of the money song. I don't know. Anybody a fan of the WWE here? I used to be such a big wrestling fan growing up. Rey Mysterio was my favorite wrestler. But if you are a wrestling fan, you'd recognize this song right here. This is Shane O'Mac. Money, go. Here comes the money. All right, I can't play that too long or else they're going to demonetize it for the audio there. But revenue decreased 20%. Yeah. Okay. To the moon very soon. Big Bear to the moon. Bob Livingston, let's go. Thank you for being here, Bob. Great to see you here. BBAI will purchase this. They are going to fly now. They currently are. Yeah, they are flying. That will do for me, to be honest. Better than last time, Trev, and it's getting rolled out all over the place. I agree. Martin, when I come visit you in the United Kingdom, I'm going to have to go through the Heathrow Airport, where I know Big Bear has recently onboarded. So when I come down to the United Kingdom, I'll see Big Bear out there. Canceled my limit order. Okay, cool. The acquisition of Ask Sage is massive. We got some rockets. Is that official? I got the BBAI email update. Oh, okay. Yeah, if you could actually email that to me, if you got an update here. Let me drop my email in chat. And this goes to everybody. If you ever have any questions for me, or you ever just want to communicate with me, if you ever want to tell me how you're doing, or just have, a one-on-one conversation, you are always welcome to email me on this channel at any time. It looks like Big Bear is having a pushback down right now, but we are still in the positive range. I mean, at $6, that is not too bad. It looks like the bears are taking some of the momentum right now, but we are still on a pretty straight up uptick. So right now it's $6.05. Again, with Big Bear's earnings today, all I want to see with guidance and everything coming forward is that we just at least remain in this range of consolidation. So as long as we stay in the $6 range with Big Bear today, I'm going to be happy with what we see. But yeah, anybody who wants to email me on this channel, again, I'm not trying to sell you guys anything. I don't have a course or anything like that. I don't have a Discord for you to go to. I genuinely just do this for the fun of it, for the love of it. I love doing this. This has helped me as an investor. It's kind of like a trading journal for me. So I had an investor reach out to me not long ago. George, he had some nice words to say, really made my day. So if you guys ever want to communicate with me directly, just hit me up at that email of greenmoneymomentum@gmail.com. 100%. www. Let's go. W's in the chat. Bullish on the bear. I agree with you, brother. Can we expect to hit 842? That's my DCA to break even. So worried. Anyone, please chime. Well, what I would say again, I don't have a crystal ball. I have a gumball. I have a gumball ball there. I have a gumball machine. Nobody has a crystal ball. You know, I think it is a little bit scary when people put out exact expectations. I do have price targets on different plays, but I never like to give an exact date when something will happen. But the Big Bear is pushing up right now. It looks like things are looking positive in the Big Bear. So again, one commenter earlier was saying that they do expect for Big Bear to get back to 4, but it looks like we're going to get closer to your range of 842, at least right now. Nice. I agree. Earnings are out. Yes, sir. Trevor, you are the man. No, you are the man. Eric, again, I love always seeing your comments. You are always so funny. Guidance is key, guys. I agree. We are 5 minutes away from the call. Let me check up on that. Actually, by the way, if anybody has like a link to this, okay, let's see the earnings release. Let's see what was in this. Okay, so BigBearAI, yes, Eric, you were correct. You were saying this. BigBearAI announces third quarter 2025 results and definite agreement to acquire Ask Sage. Announcements. Agreement to acquire Ask Sage, a fast-growing generative AI platform to secure distribution of AI models and agentic AI capabilities built specifically for defense and national security agencies and other highly regulated sectors. Ask Sage is expected to deliver annual recurring revenues of approximately 25 million. All right, that is awesome. So this is positive for the Big Bear. They continue to project 2025 revenue between 125 million and 140 million. We are going to have that earnings call here in just a couple minutes. Revenue did decrease. I saw this in the comment section, 20% to 33.1 million compared to 41.5, primarily due to lower volume on certain Army programs. So I did hear about this earlier this year with Big Bear, that they did have their initial contract come out. It was set for a certain amount of revenue, and then it was lowered later on. Gross margin was 22% in the third quarter of 2025 compared to 25.9%, so a little bit down there. Net income in the third quarter of 2025 was 2.5 million. This is huge compared to a net loss of 15.1 million for the third quarter of 2024. The decrease in net loss was primarily driven by non-cash changes in derivative liabilities of 26.1 million. So that's positive to see. Year-over-year growth. Let's see. We do have that earnings call here in a couple minutes. The earnings webcast. See, I already signed up to this. Let's see if they'll let me in. We're 3 minutes away from this. All right. Second quarter. What the heck? I want the third quarter. This is what it was doing to me earlier. Okay, so what I was going to say is if you guys have anything on the third quarter, for some reason I'm having a problem here with BigBearAI's website. I'm supposed to have the third quarter earnings event. We're supposed to get here, but I guess maybe when it starts at that 2:30, I'll be able to get into it. But right now it's having some issues. So if you guys have a link to Big Bear's earnings call, drop that in the comments section below. I'll be checking that. We got my email again. Also, if you want to email it to me, you could drop it in the comments section here, or you could just directly email it to me. Wow. And the Big Bear is pushing up right now. Let's go, everybody. This is so exciting. A big push up in the Big Bear, 14%. This is amazing. Again, I just picked up some nice bullish options today, some nice calls on the Big Bear. So this is great. I'm not seeing the jump in my portfolio on these calls yet. If you understand options calls, you see it when the market's open and during the normal market hours. So this is going to be very exciting to wake up to. But I do have the double leveraged BigBearAI bag. So if you want a bag in the Big Bear, get yourself some bag. Look at that, the double leveraged opportunity up 31% right now. Wow, I'm having a nice jump up in my portfolio currently. I'm sure many of you are having the same. I am in bag. I am also in Big Bear. So Big Bear, one of my strongest positions in my portfolio. Let's see. Go to the website. I was on the website. So you have the earning and info on the acquiring. You saved my life with your amazing advice. Well, hey, thank you so much. You know, all of you are saving my life because this brings me so much happiness, and happiness is the way to live long. So for all of you who are here, all 123 of you, I thank you so much. You know, truly, this is a dream come true to come onto this channel and to be able to give my financial opinion on all these different assets, to be able to have a fan base that wants to hear what I have to say. Truly, guys, a dream come true, because I have been around the financial market since I graduated high school. what is now 10 years ago. So I've been participating in the markets over the last 10 years, refining my knowledge. And then last year I started to make videos, and to see such a positive reaction to my videos, it really makes me so happy. And I really do love doing this, guys. So Big Bear, again, looking very bullish right now. Keeps going up. Yes, it is. That would be awesome. You guys made my day. At least there is some hope. Yes, sir. Just hold on. If you are feeling any fear, uncertainty, and doubt, I know again you said you have a higher price. You said your DCA price is at $8, but that is okay because that is right in this level of consolidation, and we are seeing this push back into this level. And we did just get that positive news about them acquiring that Sage acquisition. So that is pretty big. Trevor, check your email. All right, thank you. Let me put it back on me so you guys don't see my email. Thank you so much, Eric. I really do appreciate you doing that. So Eric, all right. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Earnings webcast. Okay, let me, I'm filling out the information. Hope everybody is having fun out there. I am having so much fun. Again, you guys are all so awesome for being here. Thank you so much. We're going to get into this earnings call here in just a second. It's like, okay, start. Okay. For me, I'm getting it up for you guys. By the way, I'm getting it up. I have to share. I'm on streaming, so I have to share this in that tab. Okay.
Sir, Sean Ricker. Thank you, sir.
Drop a
Go ahead.
thumbs up. Drop a thumbs up if you hear the audio
Good afternoon,
from the
and
call.
thank you all for joining us today for our third quarter 2025 earnings call. I'm Sean Ricker, CFO of BigBearAI, and I'm joined today by our CEO, Kevin McAleenan. Statements made in today's call that are not historical fact are considered forward-looking statements and are made pursuant to the safe harbor provisions of the federal securities laws. Actual results may differ materially from those projected in the forward-looking statements. Please see today's press release and our SEC filings for a description of some of the factors that may cause actual results to differ materially from those in the forward-looking statements. We have posted charts on our website today that we plan to address during the call to supplement our comments. These charts also include information regarding non-GAAP measures that may be used in today's call. Please access our website at www.bigbear.ai and click on the Investor Relations link to view and follow the charts. With that, I'd like to turn the call over to Kevin.
Good afternoon. It's good to be back speaking with our shareholders and analysts about our progress today. 3 months ago, I told you Big Bear was going on offense, taking advantage of our positioning in the market and our increased capital to grow organically and to strengthen our position through disciplined M&A. Since then, we've moved with purpose, assessing markets where we can lead, evaluating strategic opportunities, and engaging across our industry to identify the right targets. We've been intentional in every step of the process, scouting the market, evaluating AI technology developments, and aligning around a clear thesis for value creation. That deliberate approach has led us to a significant step forward for the company, one intended to advance our vision, accelerate growth, and position BigBearAI for leadership in our core national security market by capitalizing on the increasing adoption of generative AI for defense capabilities. Today, I'm excited to announce that Big Bear has signed a definitive agreement to acquire Ask Sage, a cutting-edge and fast-growing generative AI platform for secure distribution of AI models and agentic capabilities, built specifically for defense and national security agencies and other highly regulated sectors. In plain terms, Ask Sage lets organizations safely use the best AI models and AI agents to get real work done with sensitive or classified data. Ask Sage is cloud and model agnostic, integrates with both current frontier and emerging AI technologies, and delivers those rapidly expanding capabilities directly for use by warfighters, coders, contracting professionals, analysts, and administrators at all levels of security and at the speed of model development through platform-level cybersecurity certification. Ask Sage already supports more than 16,000 government teams across 27 agencies and hundreds of commercial companies, and annual recurring revenue is on track to grow over 6 times from 2024 to 2025. We will dig deeper into the investment rationale in a few moments, but this is a big development that we expect to accelerate our growth and further advance our position as a technology catalyst for both government and commercial customers. On our agenda for the call, I will share why this acquisition is such an important step for BigBearAI, how it fits squarely within our M&A framework, and why it strengthens our leadership in this rapidly expanding market segment. Then, I'll turn to our broader market outlook and business performance and ask Sean to walk through our financial results. And I'll close with a look at where we go from here. But I'd like to start off by congratulating Sean for his official appointment to the role of Chief Financial Officer as of October 14th, having held the interim position since June. Sean has done an excellent job in his expanded role at BigBearAI. He's been a true strategic partner for me while delivering rigor, transparency, and discipline in our financial operations. He maintains the respect of our board and our team, and I couldn't be more excited to work with him to execute this next phase of BigBear's evolution. To frame today's discussion, I will explain our corporate development strategy because M&A plays a central role in our plans to accelerate BigBearAI's growth. Over the past several months, we've built and refined a disciplined, thesis-driven approach to M&A, one where every investment is structured to advance our mission, strengthen our differentiation, and build long-term value. Our acquisition framework focuses on 3 areas where we believe that BigBearAI is best positioned to combine our mission expertise with cutting-edge technology and achieve greater impact for our performance and investors. First, disruptive AI mission solutions for national security. Unlocking the power of AI for the defense mission is essential to America's continued leadership in global security and to maintaining our edge in strategic competition with potential adversaries. We're evaluating high-growth companies that have built secure, scalable, mission-tailored AI solutions with products solving real problems for operators, not solely developing enabling technologies. The opportunity here is significant. AI adoption across defense, intelligence, and homeland security is still in the early stages, and the companies that can deliver tangible outcomes are well-positioned for outsized growth. Second, smart, secure travel and trade. While BigBearAI's mission is grounded in national security, that mission continues to evolve as global dynamics shift and the secure and transparent movement of people and goods becomes increasingly essential to maintaining economic advantage and safeguarding the prosperity of the United States and our allies. Accordingly, the second core area for our potential investment is on technologies that enhance security and efficiency in travel and trade, particularly computer vision capabilities like biometrics, threat detection, and monitoring. With our deep expertise and proven success through our digital identity portfolio, we believe we are well positioned to lead in an attractive market with growing investment and attention that is still fragmented and primed for disruption. Third, platform-level AI technologies. Our mission expertise is key to what sets BigBearAI apart, but to translate that expertise into real-world impact, we must operate on platforms built for the world's most demanding use cases. The missions we serve in security, travel, and trade don't operate under typical timelines or tolerances. As a result, we are also targeting companies developing foundational AI tooling, orchestration, and data infrastructure to enable us to build and deliver the world's most advanced solutions at speed and ahead of accelerating innovation and competition. Our national security operators must have immediate access to the cutting-edge commercial models and technologies being advanced globally. To ensure deterrence and readiness, the United States and its allies must maintain their advantage in AI innovation. We intend to help make sure they do. As the market accelerates toward generative, agentic, and real-time AI, those same platform capabilities will position us not just to keep pace with our competition, but to lead, driving sustained growth and margin expansion. Our M&A framework is designed so that the decisions we make sharpen our competitive edge, deepen our mission impact, and position us for scalable and durable growth. The acquisition of Ask Sage is a clear example of this framework in action. With Ask Sage, we have found a critical platform-level AI technology, purpose-built, proven in the most secure and demanding mission environments, and positioned to accelerate everything we're building at BigBearAI. Ask Sage is impressive. It is a secure, model-agnostic Gen AI platform built specifically for government and other highly regulated industries. In these environments, agencies often face challenges leveraging openly available commercial AI models due to data sensitivity, compliance mandates, and classified operations. This constraint slows the adoption of AI and limits mission speed. Ask Sage removes that barrier by enabling agencies to deploy and operate AI models
holding long-term,
classified clouds within secure, accredited environments so partners can innovate safely, quickly, and at scale. And it's already available in the Microsoft and AWS marketplaces. AskSage stands out in this area. It is currently one of the only model-agnostic GenAI platforms holding FedRAMP High accreditation, with over 30 frontier models deployed across DoD and national security customers. It orchestrates the leading open source and government-approved models, pulls in enterprise and mission data under strict governance, and makes it easy to stand up production-ready AI agents for real, high-value use cases like acquisition, cybersecurity, coding, compliance, intelligence and operational analysis, and ultimately, mission automation. One of the primary elements that makes this so valuable to us is the installed base and accreditation posture we're acquiring. AskSage already supports more than 100,000 users on 16,000 government teams and hundreds of commercial companies, which means we're not only buying an idea, we're buying a turnkey platform that's in production today, at scale, in the environments that matter most. And because the platform was designed to be agnostic to LLMs and deployment models, we can meet each customer where their security, classification, and data residency requirements are, without locking them or us into a single model or cloud. Further, with out-of-the-box support for 150 plus open source and commercial AI models, customers can select a specific model best suited to their mission and even build multi-model agents that combine the strengths of different systems to achieve superior outcomes. AskSage also provides a framework to build and ship vertical, mission-specific agents quickly. With AskSage, we are positioning ourselves to deliver secure AI agents that actually act on mission data and drive outcomes at the highest classification levels and do it repeatedly across defense, security agencies, and the defense industrial base. From a business standpoint, this capability not only accelerates delivery and differentiation, but also creates meaningful operating leverage and sustained margin uplift as we scale. In addition to its capabilities, the market backdrop for AskSage is compelling. According to U.S. Government Accountability Office, the number of federal GenAI use cases has grown over 8 times since 2023. AskSage is already capturing the wave. It has grown AAR 6-fold over the last year and is tracking toward $25 million in ARR in 2025. This growth is powered by real deployments, including the U.S. Space Force, Defense Health Agency, Office of the Secretary of Defense, Chief Digital AI Office, 11 combatant commands, NAVAIR, and the U.S. Army's Enterprise LLM Workspace, which all run on AskSage today. This rapid momentum is a clear sign of first mover advantage and the speed at which AskSage has achieved a high level security posture and the delivery of tangible value. Finally, AskSage is led by its founder, an exceptional talent in Nicholas Shalon. Nick is one of the most respected voices in secure mission-grade AI, having served as the former chief software officer for both the U.S. Air Force and Space Force and founded multiple companies over the past 25 years. He has proven that he can build technology the Pentagon actually uses rapidly and iteratively to support critical missions.
I don't like that artificial meat company.
That Nick will be joining BigBear
no to artificial meat. No.
To lead our technology teams as Chief Technology Officer, where he will focus on enhancing our broader portfolio and increasing the efficiency and velocity of our product development and innovation, while powering us forward as an AI-first company across all of our functions. By integrating AskSage with BigBearAI, we are creating an offering the market has been asking for, a secure, integrated AI platform that connects software, data, and mission services in one place. I'd like to touch on a few important synergies. First, we plan to cross-sell the AskSage platform into BigBearAI's existing federal and commercial accounts, opening up a new group of DHS, intelligence community, and travel mobility customers that need secure AI to speed processing and threat detection. Second, we plan to introduce BigBearAI products into the large and growing AskSage user base. These customers are already operating in a secure AI environment. We can now offer them more mission apps, more data sources, and more automation. Third, we plan to wrap our integration and mission services around the applications and agents deployed on AskSage, giving customers not only the AI capability, but also the deployment, tuning, and change management support to ensure that they maximize the value potential of the offering. Fourth, AskSage Application Marketplace gives us a faster route to market for future offerings, whether built organically, through partnerships, or via acquisition. It's become a distribution channel for innovation. In sum, this acquisition represents a watershed moment for BigBearAI and our shareholders. We are acquiring not just technology, but the foundation of an ecosystem that positions us to support the AI revolution in government and regulated industries. With unprecedented government AI investments expected in 2026 and 2027, Ask Sage's existing accreditations and operational platform will give us a key competitive advantage. While others are still building and working through certification, we will be deploying and scaling. We intend to move quickly and integrate Ask Sage after closing, and we're looking forward to executing on this shared vision together. Now turning to the broader market environment.
One big,
Over the
beautiful
past
bill.
several
We've
months,
talked
we've
about
strengthened our
that.
momentum across core markets and national
Talked
security
about
and
that.
travel and trade, while expanding into international arenas. We said we plan to diversify our pipeline, deepen partnerships, and demonstrate execution at scale, and we've delivered. Our capture campaigns under the One Big Beautiful Bill are well underway, broadening our pipeline across DHS and defense, and positioning BigBearAI to compete successfully for the key investments in security that this generational funding source will bring. Across our growth apparatus, we've demonstrated real measurable progress. Our Veriscan biometric platform continues to expand to additional airports and is now live at Chicago O'Hare, Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, and Nashville in support of CBP's Enhanced Passenger Processing Program. These deployments are improving security, accelerating processing times, and enhancing traveler experience at some of the country's busiest airports of entry. In the national security space, we advanced our core platforms, integrating Conductor OS and Vane to deliver real-time situational awareness and decision support for multi-domain operations. New partnerships with T-Second and DEFCON AI extend our capability to the tactical edge, processing data in disconnected environments and strengthening joint force logistics and readiness. Our participation in Unitas 2025, alongside the U.S. Navy and SMX, further demonstrated the scalability of our AI solutions in complex, real-world missions. Internationally, we're proving the reach and reliability of our technology. In the UK, our Pangeum threat detection software completed successful trials at Edinburgh Airport, validating performance under operational conditions. In the Middle East, we continue to build momentum in the UAE, where we serve as title sponsor of the Global AI Show in Abu Dhabi, a premier venue for advancing trusted, mission-driven AI with global partners and allies. We also entered the sports and entertainment arena through our landmark partnership with the Washington Commanders, securing naming rights for the BigBearAI Performance Center.
Football.
By stepping onto the national stage alongside one of the NFL's most storied franchises, we're extending our visibility beyond the defense and government sectors, connecting our brand to performance, precision, and innovation, the very attributes that define our technology. All that said, like all federal contractors, we are actively navigating the government shutdown. Importantly, over 80% of our government contract work has been deemed accepted and mission essential, including our work for the Department of War and the Department of Homeland Security. We are proud to have the opportunity to continue to support our government customers during the lapse in appropriations. That said, parts of several contracts, mostly for the intelligence community, have been temporarily paused and have resulted in some revenue and personnel disruption. We look forward to a resolution of the shutdown and getting our team back to full strength in support of our mission customers. Throughout the quarter, we've executed with rigor, staying disciplined in capital deployment while expanding our customer base, diversifying our pipeline, and strengthening our international presence. With that, I'll turn it over to Sean to walk through our financial performance in more detail.
Thanks, Kevin. This quarter, we have continued to make sequential improvements to our balance sheet in terms of our liquidity and net debt position. At the end of the third quarter, we have total cash and investments of $715 million, which includes $457 million of cash and $258 million of held-to-maturity securities. During the third quarter, through our at-the-market facilities, we raised gross proceeds of approximately $337 million in exchange for the sale of 65 million shares of our common stock, which equates to an average gross selling price of $5.18 per share. Our ability to access the capital markets at relatively low cost and at attractive prices will allow us to continue to execute on the M&A strategy that Kevin outlined and to make other investments to accelerate growth in the future. Now let's turn to our operating results for the quarter. Third quarter revenue was $33.1 million, a decrease of $8.4 million year over year, which was primarily driven by lower volume on Army programs. Gross margins decreased year over year. Gross margin for the third quarter of 2025 was 22.4%, versus 25.9% for the comparable period, primarily due to certain higher margin programs in the third quarter of 2024 that were not repeated in the third quarter of 2025. SG&A expenses increased from $17.5 million in the third quarter of 2024 to $25.3 million in the third quarter of 2025. The increase in SG&A was primarily related to increased SG&A labor and fringe costs of $4.3 million to support growth and other initiatives, increased non-recurring strategic initiatives of $2 million, and an increase in marketing and other growth investments of $1.4 million. Our net income for the third quarter was $2.5 million, driven by a decrease in the fair value of derivatives of about $26 million, primarily associated with the quarterly remeasurement of the convertible features of our convertible notes, which was partially offset by the increased SG&A spending previously mentioned. Adjusted EBITDA for the third quarter was negative $9.4 million versus positive $900,000 in the comparable period. The decrease in adjusted EBITDA was driven by the increased SG&A spending as well as the lower gross profit due to contract mix. While there are still risks related to the ultimate resolution and timing of the ongoing government shutdown, for the full year 2025, we continue to project revenue between $125 million and $140 million. The anticipated acquisition of Ask Sage is expected to close late in the fourth quarter of 2025 or early in the first quarter of 2026, and therefore, we do not expect the financial results of the acquisition to have material impact on our consolidated 2025 financial results. I'll now turn it back to Kevin to discuss our priorities and to give a few closing remarks.
Thanks. As Sean presented, our financial position remains strong, with cash and investments totaling $715 million. This foundation has allowed us to move quickly and strategically, investing in organic growth, targeted partnerships, and the infrastructure necessary to scale. And as we scale, another major focus area is talent. We are continuing to develop a world-class team. That includes substantially expanding the size of our growth team, bringing on experienced sales leaders who can expand our reach, deepen customer relationships, and translate our technical differentiation into market share gains and long-term revenue growth. We look to our acquisition of Ask Sage to support accelerating our growth into 2026 and beyond, driving our ability to deliver platform-level AI technologies built for the world's most demanding missions. By combining BigBearAI's mission expertise with Ask Sage's world-class Gen AI capabilities, we'll strengthen our capacity to build and deploy secure, scalable, and agile solutions at the speed that our industry's innovation demands. This acquisition will advance our vision of providing U.S. operators with immediate access to cutting-edge AI, reinforcing deterrence, readiness, and leadership across the national security, travel, and trade spaces. Before we close, I want to remind our shareholders that your voice matters. Participating in the upcoming special meeting of stockholders is one of the most important ways you can help shape BigBearAI's future. To this end, we are asking our shareholders to approve at our December 1st special meeting an increase in our authorized capital to support these growth initiatives. Looking ahead, the foundations we've built this year set the stage for accelerated growth in 2026 and beyond. We are building a stronger, more resilient BigBearAI, one positioned to lead in national security and travel and trade modernization worldwide. Thank you, as always, to our BigBearAI team and to our shareholders for continued support. I look forward to speaking with all of you next quarter to update you on our progress.
Okay, let me get back to where I could present on here, some slides and whatnot. But overall, that looked like a pretty positive earnings. Everything is looking pretty positive right now. We are seeing a push in the Big Bear. Caught something that he said at the very end. That's going to be the next important date to watch when it comes to the Big Bear. Let me get my presentation on here. By the way, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who is here today. This has been an overwhelming amount of support. Currently, we have 193 here watching. We have had a lot of activity in the chat. A lot of you have been saying a lot of positive things. I'm super happy that you all made it today. I thank you all so much. Again, this is truly a dream come true, and this is only the second live stream I've ever done. So I did one way back in January, and this is the second one. I do plan on doing more live streaming in the future. So if you guys like this, please let me know in the comments there on the side. Please, drop another thumbs up. Let me know if you'd like to see some live day trading. I think that would be pretty exciting. I've really enjoyed interacting with every single one of you, but as we could see, the push is continuing in the Big Bear. We did have this nice volatile push up today. We are back in this level of consolidation, up 13%. We are at $6.44. So very exciting. The green candlestick doesn't necessarily show here just yet, but tomorrow, as long as nothing tragic happens and we see a drop, we should be in this level of consolidation. So some very exciting movements in the Big Bear. If you just joined us, we just got through the earnings report and we got through the guidance call, and there was a lot to unpack in that guidance call. They did pick up a new acquisition, Ask Sage. So during this time, I ended up pulling up Ask Sage. I went to their website. We could see they have a lot around the government. These are some of the partners that they are working with. So we have NASA there, we have PNB, we have Skyward Federal. So a lot of different government organizations, the Defense Wealth Agency. And this is a reason why we are so bullish on the Big Bear. We have talked a lot about their involvement with the government, and the government is one of the best customers you could ever get. Myself, I own a business outside of this channel, and the best contract you could pick up is with a government contract, because the government can always pay out. They basically have an unlimited fund, and being a part of the government like Big Bear is, this just opens them up to more opportunities. And we just saw them with this acquisition of Ask Sage. So some AI technology. This will help be integrated with Big Bear's technology. They did say on this earnings call that this acquisition should show up in late Q4 of this year or in Q1 of 2026. There was a big focus here on travel and trade. They also talked about the big, beautiful bill, something that we have talked about many times on this channel, and how a lot of that spending will go towards the Big Bear. So it was positive to see that they mentioned that once again with BigBearAI. Let's see if this has upgraded on barons.com. So it's 652. Look at that volume push. Oh, I guess that's just the dollar push. Let's see if they've updated the volume. So volume hasn't updated yet on Barons, but I'm sure the volume will update soon. But we just saw a big volume push. We just saw a lot of price momentum within the Big Bear, sitting at $6.50. This was so exciting. I'm so happy we had a positive earnings report. Third time is a charm. So Q1 this year was a bit disappointing for Big Bear. Q2 also did disappoint investors. Q3, very large. And also something very positive with Big Bear is they did show their balance sheet highlights. And so I just took a screenshot here on my phone. They have their largest cash position ever. They are at a record ending cash of $715 million. That is incredible. Big Bear has really increased their cash position. They did pay down about $1 million of debt. So they have $715 million and they only have $143 million in cash. A big difference from where Big Bear was last year when we started covering it in 2024. The reason why we've been covering Big Bear is because this is a turnaround story. This is a value stock that we see having a lot of potential and having a lot of growth. And look at that. They just increased their cash to $715 million. So that is massive. The next big date to watch with Big Bear is going to be on December 1st. There's going to be a call of the shareholders. And with this, they are going to talk about what sounds like dilution. The way they worded it in the call is if they could get authorization for an increase in their capital. So it looks like some possible dilution. We will have a shareholder vote that is going to come on December 1st. But as I've said, with dilution could be really bad if you are in a really crappy company. So like penny stocks, right? So not to pick on this one specifically, but that artificial meat company that fellow was mentioning, Beyond Meat. Beyond Meat is a company that has just a horrible stock chart. I mean, when we look at Beyond Meat, we could see that there has been some dilution in this stock. Again, I'm not trying to pick on Beyond Meat specifically, but when you just look at this stock chart, horrible, ugly, and a lot of that dilution was happening around here. It's just a penny stock that has been dropping. Dilution is terrible when a company isn't growing. But when a company is growing, dilution is not the worst, because this does increase the capital for the business. They are able to get some more funding. And we are right now just looking at Big Bear in the short term. We are looking at Big Bear just today and the crazy price movements that we had, but we are still not as high as we were basically when the initial public offering happened all the way in 2022. So still a lot of growth within the Big Bear. Again, I am a long-term investor into the Big Bear. I have a lot of leaps on the Big Bear, some that go all the way to 2027. So I have been following this growth story with Big Bear, and I do believe that it will continue. And we are seeing Big Bear everywhere. So they are at all these different airports. They just had this big customer acquisition with Ask Sage. So things are looking pretty positive right now. Let's go back to the comments section, see what everybody has to say. I mean, it's still a nice positive push today. I mean, you know, the stock market is choppy back and forth, but I do believe when the government shutdown does officially end, this will also be a big catalyst for Big Bear. And again, we are seeing very positive things happen within the Big Bear right now. Their largest cash position ever, and their debt still sitting at about the same spot as they were in the last earnings report, but it hasn't increased. I'm only down 40% this month. Will buy 100 more shares. There you go. That's the spirit. You know, this last month, October, was pretty rough for some investors. This is always why I recommend having a proper amount of leverage. Never over leverage yourself, and always be ready for what the market can present to you. Because, you know, I talk a lot about these double leveraged plays. BigBearAI double leveraged is one of them, but I use these as tools to help boost my portfolio. But I also recognize that I don't want to get too over leveraged. I don't want to get too greedy, because if you do get too greedy, that is when you could get toppled. And recently we did see the markets give us kind of a stomach punch, and it was kind of a stomach punch from Mike Tyson. It was a pretty rough one for many investors. I'm having Bo Perkins barbecue for dinner. That is so funny. This is why I love you in the comments sections, Eric. You always make me laugh. You always have such funny things to say back to the trolls in the comment section. I bought some BBA on Friday. Let's go. Miles Johnson looking very official. I love the coat that you got there, brother. Looking very official, very like this. You have some nice dress attire. No Q&A. It doesn't look like it, Thomas, but if you want to have a Q&A here, we could have a little bit of a Q&A. So if you have any questions for me, please drop it in the comment section. Yo, if you cover the earnings call, people would love to catch those no cap. Yes, we did just cover the earnings call. It actually just ended here, Miles. So once this stream is over, or I'm sure you could even do it right now, just go back in the stream. We just covered it. It was about the last like 20 to 30 minutes. Do some trading. It's in the after hours. I'm not doing any trading right now. But again, live day trading. Yeah, was that a thumbs up for that? The live day trading. I'm down for some day trading. Awesome. Do some SoundHound United Health. Okay, I like this. Yes, we are finishing up this earnings call. This is it for me today, so I'm not going to do a daily talk of stock like I normally do. I have some things to do right after this, but we could do a little bit of a recap, a daily talk of stock here to finish the stream. So if you guys have any tickers that you want to see me talk about, drop it in the comment section below, and we will get to all of them. So SoundHound AI, also a company that just recently reported their earnings. SoundHound did report, I believe, what was last Thursday. They did come out with a positive earnings report. They did beat expectations. And what I really love to see here is Wall Street is expecting for their next quarter to be at 53 million. So I didn't catch the earnings call last week with SoundHound, but it does look like the guidance is very positive for this company. When we do just look at the technical analysis on SoundHound, we have been in this trend that has had a rising support and a rising resistance. We recently got out of that level. This was when the markets did get a bit overvalued. We've talked about this last week, the liquidity crisis that happened, how the Fed had to inject money into the banks. And because of that, of course, there was a sell-off, and SoundHound did sell, getting right back to this level of support here, which is also right with the 200-day moving average. When we look at the relative strength index, we have dropped significantly there, and then same as on the MACD. So I am very, very bullish on SoundHound AI. I like the price movements that we have seen. And again, when I make my long-term investments, like recently with BigBearAI, I want to add to Big Bear before what happened today. The same is to be said with SoundHound. So where there is some bleeding right now, this is where I will consider adding more to my long-term investment with SoundHound. Again, going back to BigBearAI, I did add some options contracts to my Big Bear position. And again, it was way before this massive movement. So I'm very excited to see where they open tomorrow. But I was adding when Big Bear did hit into the red today. And every single time I have added to the Big Bear, it has been in spots of red when we are close to the 200-day moving average or before the major volume kicks up. So I like to add to positions while they are low. So I'm very excited about SoundHound. In terms of United Health, this company I know was pretty beat down not long ago. It had like a 50% drop. United Health is nothing that I necessarily look at, but I do know that this is a proven company with proven fundamentals. They have great revenue. They are a blue chip company. So if you were looking for a long-term investment, United Health may not be a bad one, but personally just not a play I am looking at. Currently, it is under the 200-day moving average, low on the relative strength index. And then we could see on the MACD, it does look like it has been bearish there. But again, just like SoundHound and just like where Big Bear was before this big earnings call, I like to add to my positions while they are low. So if I were to add to United Health, which I am not, this is when I would start to consider to add to my United Health. But what I will say on this play, recently Trump did come out with a lot of things around healthcare. He wants to give the money back to the people. He was talking about, taking it away from all these insurance companies, kind of being scams, all that. I don't disagree with that. So there could always be some more bleeding within this play, and it has had a pretty rough year. So right here, like on the MACD, we could see that we are descending there. We could eventually see a bullish cross, but what I would be looking at here is to add, when it starts to look like it's going to turn and maybe back just slightly into that green. But again, United Health, just not one of the ones I am looking at. Thumbs up. Cheers, Trev. Hey, what's up, Matt? Great to see you here, buddy. I always appreciate your comments. Another long-term subscriber, so I thank you so much for being here. I always appreciate your comments. Great to see you here. Once again, the gov never fails. I trust in our government and their interests. I say the same thing, to be honest. This is why I am basically a perma-bull on the markets, because the markets are going to continue to go up, in my opinion, because the government and the Federal Reserve basically works together. There are short-term moments of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, just like we have seen recently with this big government shutdown, but the Federal Reserve and the government working together to keep the markets up. We just saw that with this government shutdown, with the banks having an issue and the Federal Reserve pumping liquidity to the banks. They are also cutting interest rates right now. So I'm very bullish for this quarter for this year. And I also agree that the government and the Federal Reserve is going to keep us high in the sky. Yes, day trade. I'm so happy so many of you want to see that. Anyone have any interest in UAMI? I have actually never even heard of this stock. What is UAMI? United States Anatomy. What was that word there? UAMI. Enemy. Okay, I don't even know what the stock is, but hey, good pick. Maybe the hot stock tip. Look at that. Wow, looks good right here, at least in terms of technical analysis. We did have a big drop off, but it does look like we could be seeing a bullish cross soon. Let's see. What is UAMI exactly? United States Anatomy Corporation. What does this company do? All right. Oh, they do precious metals. Okay. All right, cool. Precious metals still a bullish sector. Again, not one that I am following, but in terms of technical analysis, does not look too bad. Please, more live streamings for us. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to everybody who showed up today. At one point, we had 200 people in chat. Currently, we have 91. So an overwhelmingly positive response. I appreciate every single one of you who are here today. BBAI needs a tech-focused CEO. The current one has a military and government background. That's not enough for a tech-driven company. RSD will suffer. Brilliant, Trevor. Fist bump, fist bump. Eric, thank you again for being here. You did send me that email to get into the earnings call, so you kept the stream going. So thank you so much for that. That really did help out, and it was great to see you here. BNP is the whatever bank. Eric Poley with the yes, sir. I agree. Up, up, up and away. Rockets. Party. I'm happy for you and all BBI investors. Luckily, I both 300 more shares last week you bought. I think that's great. Just wait till tomorrow. Yeah, hopefully the bullish momentum does continue. When we do look at the technical analysis again on Big Bear, and we're going to finish up here in a second. So everybody who's still here, thank you so much. Again, if you want to see me talk about any tickers, do it now because we are just about to wrap up here. But yeah, the movements haven't necessarily shown up on the 1-year chart here. on Robinhood, but we are going to have a big push up in the morning. As long as things don't drop, we will be right in this level of consolidation. We should be higher on the relative strength index and getting closer to a bullish push on the MACD. This is such an exciting time for the Big Bear because we did just have this big push up today, but still low compared to where we may go in the future, and still a lot lower than we were in February. I'm buying more tomorrow. Okay, well, the trend can be your friend. You know, I do expect for Big Bear to go a lot higher. So if you are investing for the long term, like I am, all the way into 2026 and 2027 and beyond, you know, small movements like today, as fun as it is to be here, they really don't matter in the long term, because the growth in Big Bear, I believe, is going to continue to soar. I believe come 2027, 2028, that we are going to be a lot higher than we currently are. And this is the most movement that we have ever seen in the Big Bear. The 200-day moving average is pushing up. The candlesticks are pushing up. And we just did see another great quarter from this company, showing that they once again increased their cash position. Ollie, Trevor the man, you the man. Thank you for being here again. Let's go rockets to the sky. What's your opinion on Trump endorsing more BBAI technology? Hopefully that does happen. Charles D, they just announced in the earnings call that the Ask Sage guy is going to join BBAI to run tech. Green Money Momentum rocks. William, great to see you here, brother. Buy more, sell next week. All right. More cameras catching the looters. Don't forget, we are in Panama, Georgia shipbuilding, and all airports soon. That is absolutely true. Big Bear is international. They have had so much expansion this year, including, yes, going out to the UAE and also their Heathrow airport deal. So again, I will be going out to the United Kingdom sometime in the near future, and I will see Big Bear out in the UK when I visit my good friend Martin. Not good enough. All right, let's get through this. Let's see. Happily wait and see. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Eric, you're right, bro. More to come. Eric is a bull on the Big Bear, and he has been bullish for a very long time. He has been with us for a very long time. So, yes, he is a long-term bull. You need to understand Big Bear is made up of retired CIA, FBI, and naval officers. They don't do press. I agree with that, Eric. That is a good point to make. You know, with BigBearAI, they do have a lot of top officials working with this company. And this, again, just helps them to pick up more government contracts, puts them in a more favorable position. So that is a positive soundhound. This investor does not like that. Current CEO replaced a tech-minded leader and was brought in to mainly secure contracts, but in tech, Can you talk about CNC? All right, I like this. See, more stock suggestions. CNC, another stock I haven't heard about. Let's take a look here. I'm gonna be honest here. I don't like this stock when it comes to just technical analysis. I'll have to do a deeper search on this really quick to see what this company actually is. But we did just have this massive gap down. Oh my gosh, I wonder if that was from an earnings report or something. It looks like this stock got absolutely shot after it was already under the 200-day moving average. So as you can see, this has been trailing. It's been barely above it for quite some time, but it looks like the history of this chart, for the most part, it has been under that 200-day moving average, showing a lot of bearish momentum. We did have that big gap down, and it still hasn't recovered, and that goes all the way back to July. So it looks like momentum in this play has been very bearish. The relative strength index is right in the middle, and the MACD isn't really giving me a clear sign. So I'll say what Jerome Powell said at the last FOMC meeting. With this stock, it's kind of like driving in the fog. At least in terms of technical analysis, I'm not really getting a clear picture here, and I don't like what I am seeing. Let's just do a quick search, CNC stock, see exactly what this company does. It's an American for-profit healthcare company based in St. Louis. So for the most part, I stay away from a lot of healthcare stocks. They are very volatile. The only one I really do touch for the most part is Hims and Hers Health. I do have a lot of faith in Hims and Hers Health. This company has those GLP drugs, and there's a big push for the GLP drugs right now. So in terms of healthcare, Hims and Hers is something I look at. And I also look at Clove. I have a very small position in Clover Health, but I also do have a lot of faith in this company. But just like I was saying about CNC, look at the history of this chart. Not very pretty either. And this is what you get a lot of the times with healthcare. And that is why, for the most part, I stay away from that sector. He is holding Rohin says, I am holding 600 shares at an average of 681. Well, that is great. If you're holding at a average of 681, 600 shares, you're getting pretty close 646, you are not far away from your average. I'm sure you were very happy with this earnings report like the rest of us. I thank you guys so much. Man, so many people want to see that. Thank you. I have been dabbling in day trading for the last month or so. I did day trading back in 2022. I wasn't the most successful at it, but a lot of learning lessons. And now I'm implementing the learning lessons from back then, and I've done a lot more studying, and we've been decently successful with the day trading. So I do plan on going live with day trading come like December or January. Again, we have had an overwhelming response from all of you. Still 86 people here. That is amazing to see. Thank you all so much for being here again. I just bought 400 shares of SoundHound. Okay, that's great. I love SoundHound. My dad is a bull on SoundHound. He has some SoundHound. You guys holding above $8 a share need to sell and buy back in the lower price. We want 200 a share by 2028. All right, hyper bullish prediction. Let's hope for it. I am holding 600 shares. If they dilute their stock, it could take the stock a decade, wow, to recover to 7 or 8. I mean, I wouldn't say that. We've already seen a little bit of dilution this year, and it is still at these levels of 643. Palantir, over 2 billion shares. Forget about diluted shares. Great job, Eric. Thank you so much. We're about to wrap up here, so this will basically be the end. But thank you so much for being here. Again, this was a great time. In terms of the daily talk of stock, we had a very bullish green day in the markets. It does appear that the government shutdown will be opening very soon. And in terms of technical analysis, a lot of plays have recently been beat down by quite a bit. So great to add to these positions while they are low. Palantir has the biggest database, has the best big data technology in the world. Buy now or wait for dilution. I never give suggestions, just my opinion. I am holding Big Bear for the long term. I have a lot of leaps within this play, and so I am well positioned within the Big Bear. I am also playing with some momentum with the double leveraged opportunity, just holding some shares in BAG. So Big Bear AI double leverage saw a nice volume pop today. I may be looking at selling a little bit just for some short-term profits depending on where we go next. But that is completely up to you. I mean, it depends really on what your faith is in, what your faith is with the Big Bear. I agree. Thank you, George. It was great to have you here. FFIV. Okay, another stock suggestion. This will be the last one. F5. All right. Whoa. All right, Matt. I like the pick here. When we look at technical analysis, we are under the 200-day moving average. It looks like it gapped down quite a bit at this spot. I wonder what happened here. If you have any more info, Matt, was it a bad earnings report or something like that? But we are low on the relative strength index, and then we have dropped quite a bit on the MACD. Let's see. What is FFIV? This is an American technology company specializing in application security. Okay, I'm gonna have to do some more research on this. I'm gonna do some more research after the stream here, but that one looks very interesting. Let's see how their earnings reports look. Let's see how their market cap is, everything like that. All right, so medium market cap, 13 billion. Not a bad price to sales ratio. Some price to sales ratios are just blown out of proportion. They are crazy. So not a bad P to S. Looks like their revenue has not been too bad. I wonder if the drop did come from, it does look like they're just kind of having a slowdown period or some stagnation. Wall Street doesn't always like to see that. They always like to see continued growth, but I like what I see here. Not too bad. Honestly, probably not something I will look at anytime soon to add to. I'm already pretty diversified, but definitely going to be on the watch list to see if we do see a recovery or a turnaround. Crankin Robotics. Yes, Eric, I've seen you talk about Crankin. I do agree. I do like the robotics sector. There's a lot of robotics plays I'm looking at. We're looking at Tesla. Tesla looks nice. And then also Rich Tech Robotics. And yeah, I have looked at Crankin as well. So robotics are very interesting. I'll be talking a lot more about robotics as the time goes forward, because I do believe that 2026 is going to be a massive year for robotics. And I don't know if you guys have seen this. I'm sure many of you have, but have you guys seen that Neo robot? Oh man, it looks like my thing's not even loading now. An overloaded Neo robot. Look at this. This is crazy. This just shows the time frame that we are going into. So Neo, this is crazy. A humanoid robot that could be in your house, help to do some of the chores. So we are going into this age all around AI, technology, quantum. I say it all the time, and this is why I am investing into these plays and investing into Big Bear, because with the world that we are going into, you know, so much is around digital AI, cameras, face scan technology, and Big Bear right up there in all of it. Again, Big Bear has a lot of government contracts, and they just did have this big acquisition with Ask Sage, the cyber attack, creating a BBAI momentum group on Truth Social. Okay, Whitney, if you're on Truth Social, that's exciting. I do go on Truth Social a little bit. I don't really post. I do look at what the president says, but yeah, if you're creating a group, once this live stream is over, drop that in the official comment section. This will be ending soon, but man, 74 people here. Wow, you guys are awesome. Crazy to see so many people here still for the now daily talk of stock, part AMPX. Okay, let's take a look at AMPX. You know, I've recently heard about this one. I believe AMPX, is this another healthcare stock? Let's see. What is AMPX? I did just hear about it not long ago. It's funny, you guys are great. You guys are dropping a lot of tickers that I don't really look at. All right, interesting. I'll do some more research on this sometime on my own. This looks very interesting in terms of the actual company. Let's go here. See what Amprius Technologies is. Okay, I like the suggestion. Look at that. We have a accelerating revenue with an accelerating stock price. I like to see that. A low market cap, 1.88 billion. I'm going to add this to my watch list. I'm going to be doing some extra research on this later. But Ampix, okay, thank you for the suggestion, Ollie. I will take a look at more at that. But their next quarterly expected to be their largest, expected to be bigger than their last quarterly. Doesn't look like they have a date for that yet, but looks like a very interesting play. Has an analyst rating of 100%. So it'll be interesting to look more into this company. And it does look like, yeah, they're engaged in the production of silicone nodes for high energy density lithium batteries. Okay, there we go. That is a very interesting thing. There's a lot of true intrinsic value with all these chip makers and battery makers, because again, we are going into this age all around technology, and we need the right equipment and the inner workings, these chips and batteries. We need them to be able to power this technology. So a very interesting play. I've seen other investors also talk about Lace, so seals, and that is another company that does very similar things. It develops secure microcontrollers and implements post-quantum cryptography. So very interesting plays. Oh man, I just lost myself on the comments here. Ooh, okay. We are almost there. Palantir and Gotham. You know, talking about Gotham, just completely related. I was rewatching last night the first Joker movie that came out recently. So Joker 2, the like musical one that came out like last year, was horrible. That was an awful movie. But Joker 1, that first one that came out, was so good and so thrilling. The cinematics in that movie was great. So that first Joker was great. Catch you on the next one, brother. Thank you so much for being here. Yep, we are about to close out here. I'm concerning selling my BBAI before the dilution. Well, I would just continue to watch what we see in the coming weeks. And, you know, technical analysis, again, when we go to technical analysis, we did just have another bounce off of the 200-day moving average. Myself, I am not concerned about the dilution, especially because of all this company is providing, all the true intrinsic value. Again, if there was dilution and this was a terrible penny stock company, if we saw the just, you know, everything was shot with this company, it didn't look like they had a future, I would be concerned also. But because there is so much growth within the Big Bear, they are going international. They are at all these different airports, all these government contracts. They did just announce this big acquisition with Ask Sage. I am personally very bullish on this company, and I am holding for the long term. So I'm not selling out. If there is any more dilution, I consider this to actually be a positive, because this will allow the company to have more capital, which could help with the expansion and even pay off the rest of their debt. Big Bear to the moon. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, the Big Bear Army. I appreciate you all. Whitney, again, thank you for being here. Eric, thank you for being here. Charles, Matt, Ollie. We're going to go through the whole list here. So if you were here, George, Boss, Rohan, Justin, Wild Things, May Mysterio, Eric again, Miles, Fedone, William, Unwritten, Uncompromised One, You know, always have your emotions uncompromised. That is the way to live. This guy, Seven De Grande. Anyway, what I'm doing is I'm just saying thank you to all of you for being here. I just want to show all your comments again. So PL, Sean, 84 Cal, Ricky, Thomas, a lot of you guys here. David at the early part, Idriz, even Bo Perkins. I know he's a bear on this, but we could all laugh at this. We did not lose our money today, I guess, unless you were shorting the Big Bear. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Willie, thank you so much. I'm all in on Big Bear, baby, Biggie. We'll finish with a little bit of celebration. It was a great day. Let's finish with just a little bit of music. I can't play too much or else YouTube is going to demonetize this stream. I don't really make a lot off of YouTube. I just do this for the passion, but I want to make the few cents and dollars that I can, right? So we'll just finish with this. This is how it felt as we had this big push up in the Big Bear. Let's all have an exciting rest of the day. And just remember, here comes the money. Go. All right, guys, thank you so much. This is Trevor with Green Money Momentum. I appreciate all the activity we had in the chat today. At one point, we had 200 viewers. This is awesome. I look forward to it as well. You guys all showed a lot of support. This was a lot of fun. I'm new here. What do you think about Webull? I'm down 1% right now. I personally prefer Robinhood. That is the stock I cover. Webull is kind of an initial public offering not long ago, so they still have some room to improve themselves. If you're looking at a brokerage play, I personally recommend Robinhood. The Joker, it was a fantastic movie. The Joker 1, but yeah, the Joker 2, laughing emojis. I agree, brother. That movie was awful, man. I went to the theaters for that, and it was such a waste of time. I'm deep in the Big Bear. Okay. And Bulls deep. Whoa, okay. The Bulls. Bullish on the Big Bear. Thank you all so much. Trevor with Green Money Momentum signing out. I will see you guys in tomorrow's Daily Talk of Stock. I thank you all so much for joining me today. Again, a true dream come true. I love doing this. This should be just the second live stream of many more to come. So thank you all so much, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I am always so bullish on the Big Bear. Goodbye, everybody. Big Bear also says goodbye, everybody. So thank you so much, and I will see you all in the next video.